He loves loopholes. Suddenly, Jameson froze. Wait. Stop. Look. Carved into a tree were the words, Tobias Hawthorne too. Before they could process it, Jameson shouted, "Get down!" A deafening crack split the air. Bark exploded from the tree as a gunshot rang out. Jameson tackled Avery to the ground. Another shot followed. Avery's ears rang. Heat spread through her chest. Pain seared her body. "Did they shoot me?" she gasped to Orrin, who appeared instantly. "No," Orrin said after a quick assessment. "Just bark. Lodged deep, but not bullets. A couple inches to the right, and it would have been. Whoever fired is long gone." He spoke into his walkie, alerting his team. For once, Jameson sounded shaken. "What the hell happened, Orrin?" "What happened," Orrin replied grimly, "is someone saw the two of you alone and took the shot." Which meant only one thing: someone inside the house wanted Avery dead. The three of them rushed back to Wayback Cottage on ATVs. Orrin trusted the Lachlan's more than the Hawthorns, and Avery understood what it meant when he cleared them but insisted on rechecking their alibis. With Avery's permission, Orrin removed the bark and stitched her up, no anesthetic. She felt every pull of the needle. The Lachlan's, who had once hated her, began to soften. Apparently, nearly dying had that effect. In the bathroom afterward, Avery tried to clean the blood away, but the room spun. The weight of what had happened, how close she had come to death, hit her like a wave. She froze in front of the mirror. Someone entered, turned on the faucet. "It's okay, Avery. I've got you. I'm fine. You're a terrible liar." He gently wiped the blood from her chest with a washcloth. A nasty scar marked her face. "I'm okay." "You're going to be better than okay." And in that moment, Avery knew she shouldn't, but she wanted to feel something other than fear, anger, and pain. She wanted to feel alive. So when Jameson leaned closer, she didn't stop him. They kissed. When he pulled back, he whispered, "I always knew you were special." For once, Avery believed it. After being wallpaper for so long, she finally felt seen. "We're close now," Jameson said. "I can feel it. Someone didn't want us near that tree." "You think they shot at us because of the tree, not the fortune?" Avery asked. "Think about it, Eris. Infinity carved on the bridge. My uncle's name on the tree. What if the puzzle is telling us he isn't dead? That's what you're thinking about, when someone just tried to kill us." "Everything's a game," Jameson said darkly. "Emily taught me that. Especially this." Avery choked back tears and left the bathroom, only to come face to face with Rebecca. "My grandmother wanted me to check up on you." "I'm okay, thanks. She said that you were shot." "I was shot at." I'm glad that you weren't shot." "It's good, right? Getting shot at instead of actually being shot?" Rebecca hesitated, then sighed. "I'm sorry. I feel like I should warn you about something. I'm supposed to tell you that my sister was wonderful, and she was, when she wanted to be." Her smile was contagious, and her laugh even worse. When she said something, everyone believed her. People thought everything she suggested was a good idea. "She was always so good to me, well, most of the time. But she wasn't nearly as kind to those boys." "What did she do?" Avery asked. "Emily didn't like to choose. She wanted everything, more than I've ever wanted anything. And the one time I wanted something," Rebecca shook her head. "My job was always to keep my sister happy. Or at least, that's what my parents used to tell me when we were little. Because Emily was so sick, I was supposed to do whatever I could to make her smile. And the boys, they made her smile. She dated both of them." "Did they know?" "Not at first." "What happened when they found out?" "You're only asking that because you didn't really know Emily. She didn't want to choose, and when they found out, neither of them wanted to let her go. So she turned it into a competition, a little game. How did she die? Grayson told me it was her heart. The room spun again, and Avery struggled to process it. By the time Rebecca was gone, she realized she hadn't actually told her what she had meant to warn her about in the first place. On the way back to Hawthorne House, Orrin updated Avery. Due in part to the estate's extensive network of security cameras, my team was able to track and verify the locations and alibis of all members of the Hawthorne family, as well as Miss Thea. What about Constantine? He's clear. He didn't personally build the gun. The implication was obvious. So you're saying he might have hired someone? Avery asked. Orrin's silence said enough. He continued, I know a skilled forensic investigator who works with an equally talented hacker. They'll be taking a deep dive into everyone's finances and phone records. In the meantime, my team will focus on the staff. The Laughlins are cleared, and we'll make sure Rebecca is as well. When they reached the house, Alyssa was waiting. Orrin gestured toward her. Alyssa is the only one I'll allow through these gates right now, and she's been cleared. Avery bristled. You both acted like I was being ridiculous when I said I'd be murdered here. Jameson muttered, All right, Eris, I'm going inside, leaving her with Orrin and Alyssa. Alyssa spoke carefully. Technically, Miss Grams, you specified axe murder. And technically, it's possible there was an oversight. She glanced at Orrin before continuing. But the people most likely to try to kill you aren't the Hawthorns. They have nothing to gain. It would be your own heirs. I don't have any heirs. Libby is clear, Orrin reassured her. She was with Nash during the shooting. But there's bad news, the gun used to shoot at you likely came from the Hawthorne collection. Their armory. They have an armory? Avery demanded. Yes. A room holding the world's largest collection of late 19th and early 20th century Winchester rifles. Recently, only 2 people visited it, Grayson and Jameson. Both have alibis, but both were looking at rifles. Avery froze. Winchester. Yes, Orrin confirmed. That's Jameson's middle name. She insisted he take her to the armory. The door required a face scan to enter, doubling as a panic room. To Avery's surprise, it didn't look like a cold steel bunker, more like a luxurious country club lounge. Velvet-lined walls, rich rugs, and rows of rifles. With Orrin's help, she began examining the Winchester collection. He made sure none of the guns were loaded but still reminded her to treat them all as if they were. One rifle had something carved into it, a 1. The infinity symbol on the bridge wasn't just an infinity sign. It was a 1 and an 8. Now she had another number, a 1. That curiosity lasted until she was in the shower, when the reality hit her. Someone had tried to kill her. The thought made her knees weak. She crawled into bed with Libby. Orrin had told her not to tell anyone what happened, not even Libby. Keeping it secret would help his investigation. Someone had likely been snuck through the gates. Avery didn't want to burden her sister, but when Libby wrapped her arms around her, Avery let herself cry. That night, she dreamed of a real memory. She was at a diner, stacking sugar packets into a castle. Avery Kylie Grams, her mom scolded gently. What have I told you about building castles out of sugar? It's only worth it if I can go 5 stories tall, Avery replied. She woke with the memory lingering, and noticed Libby's phone buzzing on the counter. A text from Drake lit the screen, I love you. You know I love you, Libby. And I know you love me. The next morning at breakfast, Thea confronted Avery. Don't play innocent. Rebecca called me, I know what happened last night. Avery frowned, confused, and glanced at Orrin. You and Jameson. In the bathroom. Together. The kiss. The kiss, Xander interrupted with a grin. Word of Hawthorne hookups travels fast. I heard about it too, Bex called me. Avery ignored them, reaching for a tray of food, but her arm flinched. You're hurt, Xander said, concern replacing his smile. You're hurt. I'm fine, Avery replied quickly. You most definitely are not fine. Behind her, Grayson's voice cut in. A moment. In the hall, Miss Graham's. She followed him, Oren trailing close behind. You're injured, Grayson said sharply. What happened? Please tell me. I was shot at. His expression hardened. When? Where? He turned to Oren. Where the hell were you? Not nearly as close as I will be from now on, Oren answered, his tone grim. Grayson looked furious, which left Avery reeling. Why is he upset? She thought. He's wanted me gone since the beginning. He's told me more than once he'd choose his family over me any day. And now one of his family members most likely just tried to kill me. It was too much. Grayson was hot and cold, one moment determined to protect his family against the gold-digging little heiress, the next outraged that someone had shot at her. Avery couldn't take the whiplash anymore. She had been shot at. She deserved to skip school today. That was all she knew. But guilt gnawed at her. Could Libby have been involved? Libby would stand to gain the most if Avery died, but she would never hurt her, never even think of it. Unless Drake had manipulated her. Avery could picture it, Drake worming his way into Libby's trust, persuading her to sneak him onto the property, without Libby realizing his true intention was to kill. If Avery was gone, Libby would inherit everything, and Libby could never say no to Drake. She would hand it all to him. Imagine Drake with billions of dollars. Avery forced herself to stop spiraling. The next clue was tied to Xander's middle name, Davenport. The only Davenport she could find was a type of desk. But with so many rooms in Hawthorne House, where would she even begin? To keep Libby occupied, and away from Drake's texts, Avery took her along, with Oren following, as they searched room by room for the desk. They even ended up in the sauna and steam room, where they once again stumbled upon a half-clothed Sky Hawthorne. Grayson told me about the shooting, Sky remarked casually. That was how Libby found out. And it led to a confrontation. Why didn't you tell me? Libby demanded. Because Drake's been texting you, Avery shot back. I didn't text him back. But you also didn't block him. You could have asked Alyssa for a new phone, or reported him for violating the restraining order. I don't want a new phone. All my friends have this number. Dad has this number. Dad? Avery asked, startled. He just wanted to check in on us. No. He just wants money. Just like Drake. Just like your mom. Yikes. Low blow, Libby muttered. Tell me you haven't seen Drake, that he hasn't come here, that you wouldn't let him onto the estate. Of course I didn't. I can't believe you'd even think that. I'm going. Libby, Avery began, but Libby cut her off. For the record, I'm still your legal guardian. And the next time someone tries to shoot you, I want to know. And with that, she stormed off. It was just Avery and Oren again, moving from room to room, searching for a Davenport desk. They had no luck, until Avery ran into Nash. You were right about your grandfather's game, she told him. Nash gave a dry smile. Usually am. The closer you get to the end, the worse it'll get. Avery knew the logical choice was to quit. But she had always wanted to win, ever since the first game of chess she'd ever played. With Nash's help, she made her way to a sealed-off wing of the house, Toby's wing. It had been closed after his death but was once the boys' play wing, complete with an arcade, hidden treasures, and, most importantly, a library. Oren cleared the space, then let her explore alone. Nash had left, and Avery found herself by herself among the shelves. At first, no desk. But then she felt it, a faint breeze, coming from a crack in the wall. She remembered the traps, the riddles, the games Tobias Hawthorne had always loved. She pulled at a shelf. It swung open slowly, revealing a narrow passage. She knew she should call Oren, but instead she pressed forward. A twisting staircase led her down into the dark, and at the bottom, a room appeared, empty except for a desk. A Davenport desk. You've got to be kidding me, Avery whispered. And then a voice, Miss Graham's. Grayson was sitting on the desk. Have you found it yet? The Davenport clue? Avery froze. I was waiting for Jameson, he continued. But it's not like Jamie to miss the obvious. Whatever this game is, it's about us. The four of us. Our names were the clues, and of course we'd find something here. This was our wing, we grew up here. Her throat tightened. At the bottom of the staircase, Grayson, do you know who shot at me? No, the two of them stood there in tense silence until Grayson finally stepped forward. Let me see, he murmured. She hesitated, but he reached for her anyway, brushing his fingers against the stitches on her chest. His touch lingered, unsettling and strangely intimate. Avery's heart raced. Grayson and Avery examined the desk together. For the most part, Grayson simply watched her, almost as if he already knew the answer but wanted to see if she could find it on her own. Eventually, Avery discovered a hidden compartment. Inside was a tiny plastic keychain in the shape of the number 1. With that, their sequence of numbers became 8-1-1-8-1. That night, Avery once again slept in Libby's room. She dreamed of her mother and heard her voice whisper, I have a secret. Care to make a guess, my newly 15-year-old daughter, her mother's voice teased. I never get these right, Mom. Just 30 more minutes. I'm so tired. I'll give you a hint. Since it's your birthday, fine. Give me a hint. I have a secret about the day you were born. Avery woke with a start, it was her birthday. Alyssa swept into the room, pulling back the curtains. You will be attending the charity gala this evening, Alyssa reminded her. But first, shopping and then media training. We need to ensure you look your best. I'll meet you in the car in 15 minutes. Forced out of bed, Avery dressed and made her way outside. To her surprise, Thea was already in the car and absolutely refused to leave. If there was shopping involved, she insisted, she was coming. The car took them downtown to a grand boutique, closed exclusively for their use. Paparazzi swarmed outside. Inside, Thea insisted that Avery choose an emerald green dress to match her green eyes. My eyes are hazel, Avery argued. Green suits you, Alyssa interjected firmly. So, emerald it was. On the way back, disaster struck. Their car was run off the road in what was clearly a deliberate, terrifying attempt on Avery's life. The police, already nearby because of Avery's high profile, immediately apprehended the driver. The entire incident, Avery soon realized, had been orchestrated by Oren. The shopping trip, the paparazzi, everything had been designed to lure out whoever wanted her dead. And the culprit was Drake. The police found a rifle in his trunk that matched the bullets from earlier attacks. Worse, they wanted to question Libby. Why? Avery demanded. Oren's face was grim. If Drake was the shooter, someone had to sneak him onto the estate. No, Avery protested. Libby wouldn't, but Alyssa placed a hand on her shoulder. If something were to happen to you, even without a will, your sister and father would be your heirs. By the time Avery returned home, Libby had already been taken into custody. Furious, Avery demanded a lawyer for her sister. But the implication, to the public and even to those around her, was unmistakable, that Libby and Drake were working together, willing to kill Avery in order to inherit. Avery refused to believe it. The only reason she agreed to continue with the media training and attend the gala was to show the world that she stood by Libby. The media strategist was far harsher than Alyssa. Tonight, the woman told her, you will say, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to be here. Avery practiced until she got it right. Better, the consultant said at last. But next time, let it hurt a little. Show them you're vulnerable. The trick is to appear real and ordinary without ever actually being vulnerable. Then came the test. I'll fire questions at you, the woman warned. There is only one rule, do not answer, not with words, not with your face, unless you can redirect to the key message we practiced. The questions came sharp and fast. Is it true your mother had a long-standing affair with Tobias Hawthorne? Did you stage today's attack? What is your relationship with the Hawthorne family? What are you going to do with the money? Do you respond to people calling you a thief? Is it true your sister is dating the man who tried to kill you? Was she involved in the attempt on your life? Avery failed miserably, growing flustered and emotional with each question. Afterward, a team of stylists swept in to prepare her for the gala. Using a reference photo Thea had provided Alyssa, they styled Avery's hair in an intricate braid, framing her face perfectly. She looked stunning. Libby returned while Avery was getting ready, mascara streaking her cheeks. She apologized, not for aiding Drake, but for not blocking him sooner. That distinction gave Avery a strange sense of relief. Libby even destroyed her phone in a blender, furious at herself for not cutting Drake off. But one question remained: if Libby hadn't let Drake onto the estate, who had? On the way to the gala, Oren updated her. Drake was cooperating with the police, implicating both himself and Libby. He claimed she was the mastermind. Yet there was no security footage of him entering the estate, meaning someone had let him in through the secret tunnels. Are you kidding me? Avery muttered. Libby, however, couldn't possibly know about those tunnels. Avery was certain of it. Still, the gala awaited. When Avery descended the steps, the entire room hushed. Grayson stood at the bottom, glass in hand, staring at her. For a moment, she thought she had taken his breath away. Then the glass slipped, shattering on the floor. What are you doing? He demanded. I don't understand, what are you talking about? The hair. The necklace. That dress. Avery's stomach dropped. She rushed to the bathroom, where Thea was already waiting. You look perfect, Thea said with a smile. What did you do, Thea? Thea shoved her phone at Avery. On the screen was a photo of Emily, wearing an emerald dress, an emerald necklace, and her hair styled in the same intricate braid. What did you do? Avery whispered. It's what Emily would have wanted. If it helps, I didn't do this to you. I did it to them. To the boys. There's something wrong with you, Avery said coldly. I told you, Thea replied evenly. The Hawthorne family is a twisted, broken mess. I never said I wasn't one of them. When Alyssa found out, she was furious and resolved to handle Thea. But the braid, woven so tightly by 7 different stylists, could not be undone. Avery had no choice but to walk back into the gala as Emily's ghost. At dinner, Grayson sat beside her, refusing to meet her eyes. I didn't do this on purpose, she whispered. Of course not. I'd take it out myself if I could. I know. Later, needing air, Avery wandered into another gallery, where she found Jameson staring at a painting Tobias Hawthorne had loaned the museum, Cezanne's 4 Brothers. I know you found the Davenport heiress, he said without looking at her. You beat me to it. So did Grayson. I'm done now, Avery. With you, with this game. I'm just a tool in all of this. And I'm over it. She turned to leave, but his voice stopped her. I don't care that you're wearing Emily's braid. I don't care, because I don't care about Emily anymore. I broke up with her that night. I was tired of her little games, and I told her I was done. A few hours later, she died. I'm sorry, Avery whispered. Come with me to Blackwood, he urged. To the trees. To get the last clue. I don't want to do it alone. At that moment, Grayson entered. Tension crackled between the brothers before Jameson finally walked out. Alone with Grayson, Avery asked, what did he say? That he broke up with Emily the night she died. Did he tell you that I killed her? Her blood ran cold. Before she could respond, they were drawn back into the gala. Xander swept her onto the dance floor with a grin. Don't you want to give the press something to talk about? He teased. Pretend I'm the most impressive person you've ever met. As they waltzed, he added quietly, maybe this helps. Every year, my grandfather gave me money to invest. I put it all in cryptocurrency. I sold my holdings before he died, for almost $100 million. You know what's fascinating? Not even my brothers know. What did your brothers invest in? No idea. We weren't allowed to discuss it. He spun her around while pulling her closer, the press going wild around them. They're going to think we're dating, she warned. As it happens, I excel at fake dating. Thea, I thought you two actually dated for real. It was Emily's idea for me to date Thea. She didn't know Thea was already with someone else. And you agreed to put on a show just for Emily? I didn't do it for Thea. I did it for Rebecca. What? The explanation unfolded like a twisted knot. Emily was Rebecca's sister. Thea was Emily's best friend. Rebecca and Thea were secretly dating, but Emily had no idea. So Emily, ever pushy, had tried to set up her best friend with the youngest Hawthorne brother. Thea had gone along with it. Xander even declared that Thea and Rebecca were deeply in love. What choice did he have? Emily was possessive. Rebecca, for once, just wanted something that belonged to her. Did Emily ever find out? Avery asked. She did. She found out the night she died. She saw it as a betrayal. Then, almost casually, he added, I solved the Blackwood. You what? I solved it. I could win this, you know. But Jameson and Grayson need it more. Head back to Hawthorne House. There'll be a helicopter waiting. Have the pilot fly over the Blackwood. A helicopter? Where you go, they'll follow. Avery frowned. I thought you wanted to win. I do. Sure enough, when she returned to Hawthorne House, a helicopter was waiting. Jameson was already inside, buzzing with restless energy, while Grayson walked steadily toward it. Avery found herself sandwiched between them as Oren took off into the sky. When they flew over the Blackwood, they realized the trees below formed the shape of a long, thin O, or was it a zero? The number is. Back on the ground, Jameson came alive again. We did it. Avery's 4 middle names, 4 numbers, 8-1-1-0. Could it be a combination? Avery asked. Maybe, Grayson mused. There are at least a dozen safes in the house. Or maybe it's an address. Coordinates. Or maybe we need to rearrange them. It could be a date, Avery said. November 8th, August 11th, January 18th. Or October 18th. And in her mind, her mother's voice rang out, I have a secret about your birthday. Her heart raced, but Jameson's face darkened. Wait, October 18th, Avery said breathlessly. That's my birthday. And my mom, this isn't about your mother, Jameson cut her off. But maybe my mom passed something on, maybe stop. The numbers are not a date. Yes, they are. No. Grayson caught her arm, steady but grim. Emily died on October 18th. A year ago. Jameson's jaw clenched. That sick son of a. His voice broke with fury. All of this? The clues, the will, her? It's not a puzzle. It's a message. Screw this, I'm done. Wait, where are you going? Avery asked. He turned his back. Congratulations, heiress. I guess you had the good fortune of being born on the right day. Mystery solved. And with that, Jameson walked away. Avery had never felt so insignificant in her life. The brothers believed their grandfather had tied the entire inheritance to Emily's death. They thought he was punishing them for letting a girl come between them. None of it made sense to Avery. Why her? Why had Tobias Hawthorne apologized to her in his final letter? Was he saying sorry for dragging her into this twisted mess? Out of everyone born on that day, why choose her? Grayson tried to comfort her, but his words only deepened the misery. I should have known, he confessed. The day the will was read, it was because of me. All of this. What are you talking about? How is this because of you? I killed Emily. His voice was raw, tormented. If it weren't for me, she wouldn't have been there. She wouldn't have jumped. And so he told her the story. Emily, granddaughter of the Lachlan's, had always been around. She was different, special, a force of nature. She wasn't allowed to run in the woods with them, so she made her own game. She'd send the Hawthorne brothers to fetch things, rare or unusual, and the winner would be whoever impressed her most. Then came her heart transplant. Afterward, she vowed to live. Grandfather Hawthorne had paid for her private education. She moved into the cottage, and soon she had the entire school in her thrall. Beautiful. Fearless. Manipulative. She wanted everything: money, experiences, thrills. She wanted Jameson and Grayson. And she turned it all into a game. That night, Grayson whispered, "She called me. She said she was done with Jameson. She wanted me. She wanted to celebrate at Devil's Gate." A cliff overlooking the Gulf. One of the most dangerous cliff diving spots in the world. I knew it was a bad idea. He paused, his face pale. She lied. She hadn't chosen me. She just wanted more. She climbed higher, past the danger signs. I followed. When she jumped, she hit the water fine. I went for our towels. But when I came back, she was lying dead on the shoreline. I think her heart gave out. The adrenaline. The altitude. The pressure. Jameson would have never taken her there, but I did. At her funeral, their grandfather had said only 3 words: family comes first. What happened to her wouldn't have happened if I had refused to play. If I had chosen my brother instead of her. And now? This birthday, your birthday, is his way of reminding me. This is my punishment. Both brothers believed Emily's death was their fault. Each carried a crushing guilt. Avery retreated to her room, more miserable than ever. She had wanted to believe she was here for a reason, that she was special. Not just a girl born on a cursed date. But then, staring at Tobias Hawthorne's portrait, she noticed something. The signature, Tobias Hawthorne the 18th. October 18th. Her birthday. It was a clue. Behind the frame, she found a button. The portrait swung open to reveal a keypad. With shaking hands, she typed 1018. The panel beeped. A step below her slid open, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a small, stained glass purple sphere, almost like a Christmas ornament. Another clue was etched on the panel: top of the clock, meet me at high. Tell the late day hello, wish the morning goodbye. A twist and a flip, what do you see? Take them 2 at a time. Come find me. The next day, Avery tried to share the discovery with Jameson and Grayson, but both refused to play. Grandfather's just tormenting us, they said. We killed Emily. We're done. But Xander wasn't done. When Avery showed him the glass sphere, he immediately recognized the design. The great room, he said. The stained glass window where the will was read. At noon, sunlight poured through the stained glass, casting a beam of light across the floor. They had guessed right, the riddle pointed to that exact moment. Crawling on all 4s, they searched until the light revealed a hidden dial. They twisted it. The floor sank beneath them. Avery and Xander descended into darkness. When it stopped, they found themselves beneath the great room. The tunnels were stark, tiled walls, yellow gaslight, massive pipes. No opulence. Just silence, depth, and mystery. At last, they came upon a door. A scanner glowed on its surface, 1 for a face, 4 for palms. Xander tried his hand. Nothing. It wasn't just the 4 brothers. It required Avery's face, and the palms of all 4 Hawthorne heirs. Xander promised he would rush back upstairs to get the others, leaving Avery alone in the dark, unsettling tunnel. She thought she heard a noise. Xander? but instead, a figure appeared beside her. It was Rebecca. Pale. Unsteady. Unhinged. "What are you doing down here?" Avery asked. Something about Rebecca's look made Avery uneasy. "Where were you the night of the shooting?" Avery pressed. Rebecca's voice was tight, fraying at the edges. "You don't know what it's like, to have your entire life revolve around one person, and then to wake up one day and find them gone. It's my fault, you know. Emily was taking huge risks. I told our parents, and they grounded her, forbade her from seeing the brothers. But Em always had her ways. At the time, I was secretly dating Thea. Emily found out that afternoon, and she was furious. When she got me alone, she said Thea and I weren't really in love. If Thea truly loved me, she wouldn't have pretended to be with Xander. Emily told me Thea loved her more, and she could prove it. She asked Thea to cover for her about the cliff diving that night. I begged Thea not to let Emily go. I told her it was dangerous. But Thea said we owed it to Emily, that we had to do it for her. You know the Devil's Gate. Even professionals don't dive from there. That much adrenaline, that much cortisol, the sudden change in altitude and pressure, it was dangerous with her heart condition. But Thea chose Emily over me. She refused to tell my parents the truth. So I went to Jameson. He said Emily was begging him to take her to the cliffs. To stop him, I let him hear a recording I had, Emily talking about how the boys did everything for her, how she liked to keep score. I told myself it was to protect my sister, but really, I was angry. Emily had taken Thea away from me. Jameson broke up with her because of that recording. If he hadn't, maybe she wouldn't have pushed things so far with Grayson. Maybe she wouldn't have gone to the cliffs. Maybe she wouldn't have jumped. Maybe I wouldn't still feel this way. Rebecca's eyes shone with guilt. I'm sorry. Avery's pulse quickened. Sorry for what? What are you about to do? Rebecca shook her head. It's not that I have anything against you. But Emily would have hated you, for taking the brothers' money, for the way they look at you. She would have wanted you gone. So you decided to get rid of me? For Emily? Avery asked sharply. No. I would never tell Drake about the tunnels, I'm not Emily. Rebecca faltered. What I'm sorry for is. Mr. Hawthorne showed me these tunnels when I was a girl. He told me I deserved something that was mine alone, a secret. I came down here all the time. The night of the shooting, I saw someone else in the tunnels. I didn't say anything, but I should have. Emily wouldn't have wanted me to. Who did you see? Avery asked. Drake, Rebecca whispered. He wasn't alone. With who? One of the boys. Their mother. Behind her, Grayson's sharp voice cut through the silence. Yeah. You should have told someone. Rebecca flinched. You should have told me, Grayson continued, stepping forward. I would have taken care of it. Bex, Drake tried again. He tried to run us off the road. Me, Alyssa, Oren, Thea. He could have killed us. Rebecca's eyes brimmed with tears. Grayson's tone softened. Emily's gone. I'll take care of this. I promise. Everything will be fine. Go. Rebecca scurried off, leaving Avery with Grayson. Avery struggled with the knowledge that he intended to deal with his mother himself instead of going to the police. It unsettled her, but it was his mother. What could she say? Grayson turned to her, his expression resolute. Avery, you have my word, I won't let anyone hurt you ever again. You have my word. As they shared the charged moment, footsteps echoed in the tunnel, Nash, Xander, and the others. Everyone was there except Jameson. They waited, until at last Jameson appeared. He placed his hand on the panel, and the hidden door clicked open. But instead of entering, he started up the stairs. Wait, don't leave. Avery called after him. Jameson's voice was hollow. I already know what's in there. The old man laid it out for me. It was meant for me, Grayson insisted. Together. They faced the door, wondering what could be behind it. Avery thought it must be answers, finally, everything. But when the door swung open, it revealed only a small, empty room. The only object inside was a small wooden box. Letters spelled out Avery Kylie Grams in Scrabble-like tiles across the lid. Inside were envelopes, one for each of them. Nash quickly realized what it meant, an anagram. Rearranging the letters of her name spelled out a very risky gamble. Xander's eyes widened. He kept saying that no matter what he planned, it might not work. That it was a very risky gamble. Inside her envelope, Avery found no answers, only a single packet of sugar. A memory rushed back, sitting in a diner as a child, building sugar castles. Her mother's voice, Avery Kylie Grams, what did I tell you about sugar castles? An old man in the booth beside them had turned around and asked her to spell her full name. Tobias Hawthorne. It all fit. He must have tracked you, Grayson said, his voice heavy. After Emily died, he must have thought of you, and changed the will. Because of your name. He loved anagrams. He loved games. That's insane, Avery whispered. He wiped out the will he'd had for 20 years, on a whim? He needed to get our attention, Grayson countered. Something so unexpected we couldn't ignore it. Something to wake us up. To bring us here. Nash leaned close and murmured, I told you, kid. You're not a player. You're the glass ballerina, or the knife. That night, restless, Avery sat in Tobias Hawthorne's old study. She refused to believe it ended with a sugar packet. She searched the desk, every desk in this house had hidden compartments. Finally, her fingers caught a latch. Inside was a folder. Her name written neatly across the front. She pulled it open. Inside lay her birth certificate. Her father's signature was circled. Why? It didn't make sense. The rest of the photos dated back to when Avery was 6 years old. After she turned 18, the number of pictures increased significantly. Someone had been watching her every move. Avery wasn't just a name drawn at random, Tobias Hawthorne had studied her. There were photos of her running poker games in the parking lot, a candid shot of her with Libby, one of her and Harry grabbing breakfast sandwiches after chess. There were even photos of her daydreaming in her car with the postcards. Tobias had known everything about her. She was a risky gamble, yes, but not an uncalculated one. She wasn't a player yet, but she was still a piece of the puzzle. Tobias hadn't left this to chance, he knew she was capable of playing. The next morning, Avery couldn't stop thinking about it all as she watched movers haul furniture out. Skye had been kicked out of the house, by Grayson. Shocked, Avery confronted him. I thought you would choose your family over me any day. I will always protect you, Grayson replied. You deserve to feel safe in your own home. I'll help you with the foundation. I'll teach you what you need to know to live this life now. Avery found that unrealistic. Kicking out his own mother for a girl who had inherited everything just 2 weeks ago? But then Grayson added quietly, it could happen, Avery. I see the way Jameson looks at you. The rest was implied. Grayson would never let another woman come between him and his brother again. Not like Emily. Never again. He was in love with her, but he would step aside. Later, Avery ran into Nan, Tobias's mother-in-law, the boy's great-grandmother. Nan was ancient, a feisty little ghost of a woman, who had lived in the house all along. She was perched at the old piano when Avery found her. You don't look well, dear, Nan said. I'm fine, Avery replied. I hear my granddaughter is leaving. She tried to kill me. Skye never liked getting her hands dirty herself, Nan scoffed. If you ask me, if you're going to kill someone, at least have the decency to do it yourself. People these days. No grit, no respect. If my poor Alice could see her children now, Nan shook her head. Zara, Sky, Toby, not the Hawthorne brothers. Your son-in-law changed his will after Toby died. Toby was a good boy, until he wasn't. Sweet as anything, smart as a whip, just like his father. They used to say that boy had a dose of me in him. What happened to him broke all our hearts. She pulled out a locket and opened it. Avery crouched down, and the sight knocked the breath from her lungs. That's Toby, Nan whispered. The boy in the picture was much younger, but unmistakable. Tears stung Avery's eyes. Then Jameson's voice cut through her haze. He had come up from behind. Eris. Toby. I know him. You what? Avery whispered. My uncle. I used to play chess with him in the park every morning. Harry. That's impossible, Nan said sharply. Toby's been dead for 20 years. Are you sure, Eris? Grayson demanded, joining them. I'm sure, Avery said firmly. Meanwhile, in another room, Xander sat with his letter. Each boy had received one, but he kept rereading his, hoping for more. His grandfather had promised him a puzzle of his own, but the letter was brief. Alexander, well done. Signed Tobias Hawthorne. Nothing more. Until, finally, he discovered the hidden message. The words shifted, revealing, find Tobias Hawthorne too.